Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The world's so-called puppet masters somehow juggle global domination with secret handshakes, matching robes, and what I can only assume is a very robust candle budget. Secret societies, the Freemasons, Skull and Bones, the Illuminati, the Order of the Pug. Yes, pug as in the dog. Some are accused of controlling world events. Others are just grown adults in a dimly lit room pretending to know ancient wisdom. But whether they're pulling the strings or just really committed to their bit, one thing is clear: people love a good conspiracy. So are these societies actually shaping history, or are they just really intense networking groups with a flair for the dramatic? Let's pull back the curtain and find out. Secret societies are what you get when a country club, a conspiracy theory, and a midlife crisis walk into a bar. They're invitation only, big on ritual, and thrive on the idea that you, yes, you with your unimportant, not secret society life, just wouldn't get what they're all about. The formula is pretty simple. Step 1, create a group that nobody can join unless they're handpicked. Step 2, make up some dramatic initiation ritual that involves weird costumes, whispered oaths, and at least one person getting blindfolded for no good reason. Step 3, let outsiders catch just enough details to get suspicious, but not enough to actually understand what's going on. Then, let human nature take over, because if there's one thing that people love, it's assuming that any group they aren't invited to must be running the world. Some of these groups, like the Freemasons, have been around for centuries. And depending on who you ask, they're either a highly influential organization that shaped modern democracy, or just a bunch of old guys in aprons doing elaborate handshakes. Freemasons love their symbols, compasses, pyramids, the all-seeing eye, and that alone is enough to make people paranoid. After all, when an organization that mysterious happens to be everywhere, it starts to look less like a coincidence and more like a plot twist. Then you have the Skull and Bones, the Yale-based club that definitely looks like they're the kind of place you'd have to sacrifice a goat just to get in. They've produced U.S. presidents, Supreme Court justices, intelligence officers, basically all the people who have the power to make the decisions that affect your daily life. And for some reason, they really love the number 322, which is carved into their headquarters and pops up in weird traditions. Some say that it refers to a certain Greek god. Others think it has something to do with death. Either way, if you're in a club where people have to whisper the meaning of a number, you're either running the world or desperately wishing people thought you were. And then we have the Order of the Pug. If the Freemasons are the shadowy puppet masters of history, these guys are the weird theater kids in the corner of the Illuminati's family reunion. Founded in the 18th century Germany, this society was created in a way to bypass the Vatican's ban on Freemasonry. Their solution? Dog masks. Full commitment to pug-themed rituals. Members literally barked during initiation because nothing says defying the church like a grown man in a pug costume taking an oath in candlelight. But here's the thing. No matter how ridiculous some of these groups seem, people care. They obsess over them because secret societies tap into something much bigger than just membership and weird traditions. They feed the belief that somewhere somebody knows something the rest of us don't. That behind the chaos, there's an order. that history isn't just a bunch of dumb luck and bad decisions, it's a carefully orchestrated plan designed by people in dark rooms, drinking expensive scotch, making decisions we're not invited to be a part of. And let's be real, if you were in that group that actually controlled the world events, wouldn't you at least pretend it was just a bunch of harmless guys sitting around reminiscing about their college days? Because the first rule of running a world is simple: make people think you're not. All right, let's dive a little bit deeper into some of these clubs and start with the Skull and Bones, Yale's most exclusive and weirdest club. If secret societies were a high school clique, Skull and Bones would be the rich kids who definitely have dirt on the principal. This ultra-exclusive Yale society has produced presidents, CIA directors, and billionaire power players, which either means they're really good at spotting future world leaders or they make them. Founded in 1832, Skull and Bones is notorious for its bizarre initiation rituals. New members, known as neophytes, are allegedly made to spill their deepest, darkest secrets while lying in a coffin. You know, normal leadership training. And then there's the infamous rumor that the members once stole Geronimo's skull, because apparently nothing screams elite institution like some light grave robbing. Some say Skull and Bones is just an old boys club with a dramatic flair. Others believe it's a pipeline to power, with members quietly influencing global decisions from the shadows. Either way, if you've ever wondered why so many U.S. presidents come from the same creepy little group, well, let's just say that it's probably not because they had great resumes. Most secret societies are shrouded in mystery, whispered about in dark rooms, maybe accused of world domination. And then there's the Order of the Pug. Yes, this one was real. 18th century secret society where members dressed up like pugs, wore dog masks, and this is not a joke. They barked at each other as part of their initiation. This group was founded in Germany as a response to the Freemasons, because obviously what the world really needed was a counter-society based entirely on small, snorting dogs. Pugs were chosen as their mascot because they symbolized loyalty and trust, which is ironic considering pugs are also known for heavy breathing and an existence that's 100% dependent on human intervention. And while the Order of the Pug probably wasn't influencing world events, it does prove one thing: secret societies aren't always about power. Sometimes they're just about having an excuse to get together, dress crazy, and bark at your friends in a candlelit basement. All right, let's get to the question everyone really wants answered. Are secret societies actually running the world, or is this just history's longest-running inside joke? Conspiracy theorists will tell you that the Illuminati is pulling the strings behind global events. And side note, I haven't gone into detail about the Illuminati because that's a whole episode by itself. One coming soon to 10-Minute Mystery. Conspiracy theorists will also tell you that the Freemasons are hiding lost knowledge, that Skull and Bones is a training ground for future world leaders, and somehow all of this inevitably leads back to Beyoncé. But here's the thing. Most secret societies seem less shadow government and more exclusive book club. Are they influential? Absolutely. When your members include presidents, CEOs, and intelligence operatives, it's hard not to be. But are they secretly deciding the fate of humanity over candlelit ceremonies? Probably not. Maybe not. In reality, these groups are more likely arguing over event planning than world domination. And if there is a secret society controlling everything, they're doing an incredible job staying out of the headlines, unlike the ones who insist on carving cryptic symbols into every historical monument. If there's one thing history proves, it's that people love a mystery. You don't have to tell me that. I have a whole podcast about it. And nothing fuels that more than secret societies, the groups that exist behind closed doors, operating just outside the public eye, promising knowledge and power that the rest of us don't have access to. There is something unsettling about the idea that the biggest decisions in history, the ones that shape economies, wars, and even entire governments, aren't being made in public debates, but in hidden meetings by people who we didn't vote for, under rules we'll never understand. It's the kind of thing that makes you question just how much of the world is actually ours and how much has already been decided in rooms we'll never walk into. Secret societies thrive on this exact type of speculation. The less we know, the more we want to know. Groups like the Skull and Bones or the Freemasons didn't necessarily start out as villains of history, but their secret society makes it easy to assume they're up to something bigger than old traditions and networking. When an organization produces multiple presidents and all the other things I mentioned, people don't just shrug that away and say, well, that's a fun coincidence. They start asking questions. And this is where things get tricky. Not every secret society is a world-controlling entity, but they do exist at the highest levels of power. When groups are intentionally exclusive, when their members are disproportionately in leadership roles, and when the details of their meetings are locked away from the public, the natural instinct is to wonder, are we just seeing the surface of something much, much bigger? At the same time, history also shows us that for every genuinely powerful and influential society, there are a dozen more that are just elaborate social clubs wrapped in unnecessary theatrics. Some, like the Order of the Pug, were little more than historical oddities. Groups of wealthy men creating rituals to entertain themselves, reinforcing their own importance. Others, like the Freemasons, became something bigger than they probably ever intended to be, simply because the secrecy surrounding them allowed people's imaginations to run wild. And if you think these secret societies only exist at places like Yale, think again. Ask Jeeves about the machine at the University of Alabama, and then get back to me. So where does this leave us? Are secret societies pulling the strings behind global events, or are they just exclusive clubs with a little too much pageantry? Maybe it's both. Maybe the real answer is somewhere in the middle. Maybe some of them do hold more power than we think, while others are just relics of another time, kept alive by the tradition and the occasional poorly executed handshake. What we do know is this: people will never stop believing in them. Even if secret societies weren't running the world, we'd still tell ourselves that they are. Because there's something more terrifying than thinking that history is being shaped by a hidden elite, and that's realizing that no one is actually in control at all. So what do you think? Are secret societies actually pulling the strings, or is the mystery just too good to let go? Either way, one thing is clear: these groups aren't going anywhere. As long as power exists, there will always be people who want to keep it behind closed doors, and keep that power away from people like you and me. Thanks for listening to this episode of 10-Minute Mystery. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a review now. It helps other curious minds find the show. And if you're craving more stories, but with a darker twist, check out my other podcast, 10-Minute Murder. It's still brief and still bingeable, but on that one, instead of mysteries, I'm talking about murder. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.